Hey guys, Josh from SoccerReviewsForYou.com, bringing you my review plus on-feet video of the Nike Hypervenom Phantom 2 in the latest Total Orange Lightning Storm colorway. Now inside the box they do include a string bag to go along with the shoes. Along with that string bag you do get this little tag right here that lets you know that the pattern that's printed on the bottom of the sole and studs will wear off over time. We'll talk about that more later in the video. Here's a look at the string bag. It is total orange in color with orange strings. You're going to find this black graphic on the front as well as your Hypervenom logo in black. And then of course you're going to find a black Nike swoosh on the back. Other than that, all you're going to find inside the box, as you guys can see, are the shoes themselves. So we'll get these guys out of the box really quickly, and we'll take a closer look at this very bright colorway of the Nike Hypervenom Phantom 2. So, in today's video, we're going to be going over all the details that you should know about the Hypervenom Phantom 2. We're going to take a closer look at this particular colorway, talk tech specs, talk about weight, talk about how these things fit and feel, and again, essentially cover everything you could possibly want to know about these guys. So if you're interested in learning more, please stick around and watch the entire video. If you're interested in a pair of these for yourself, be sure to check out the review page on my website. That'll be the very first link down below in the description of this video. On that page, you will find Buy It Now links with exclusive SR4U coupon codes where you'll be able to pick these guys up below their normal $275 retail price. So again, if you're interested in a pair, first link down below, go ahead and check it out. And with that being said, let's get right into the review. To start things off, let's take a closer look at the colorway. Now this being part of the Lightning Storm pack, it sees a shoe with black accents and a very bright base color. In the case of the Hypervenom models in the line, the base color is total orange, which is very, very bright, especially in person. They are really, really interesting. It's kind of like the launch colorway, but all the gray parts are now bright orange. Which, like I said, gives this shoe a very unique look, especially because of its mid-cut design. Now, unlike a lot of other shoes in the pack, this has quite a few different materials happening on the upper. You have a certain type of orange that has like a semi-metallic shine to it in the form of the main Nike Skin upper. You have that orange graphic there that runs through the heel and midfoot area. That's a slightly different shade of orange. You have a different shade of orange in the laces as well as in the Flyknit collar. And then of course the sole plate also has a slightly different shade of orange. So it's not a complete orange out, if you will, in that the actual shade of orange isn't consistent across the entire shoe, but they are still very, very bright, and the look is actually pretty cool in my opinion. If you're looking for something different, this is definitely going to do that for you, or if you're just a fan of orange in general, probably one of those colorways you want to pick up. You have black accents in the form of the Nike swoosh outline on the front and back of the shoe, obviously the Hypervenom logo as well as that graphic scattered through the upper as well as the bottom of the sole plate, and you also have black on the inside of the collar as well. Speaking on the sole plate, you do have that black graphic printed on the bottom, and it does come with the warning label that I showed you at the start of the video. Essentially, the black graphic here that's printed on the sole plate will wear off over time. It doesn't affect the performance. It just means that it's not going to last forever. I actually made a video specifically on this aspect of the Hypervenom Phantom 2, so if you want to check that out, see how the graphic itself actually does wear off, I'll leave an annotation on screen. You can go ahead and check that out. But all in all, if you like bright orange shoes, there's not much not to like about the Lightning Storm pack colorway of the Hypervenom Phantom 2. So let me know your opinions on it down below in the comment section. Do you like how these look? Why or why not? And with that being said, let's move on to the tech specs so we can learn a little bit more about the overall performance. As far as performance is concerned, the Hypervenom Phantom 2 performs extremely well, but I think that its defining characteristic is really how unique it actually feels on your feet. There's really nothing else like the Hypervenom Phantom at this point in time. So, with this particular shoe, you're getting an upper that's made from Nike Skin. That's what Nike calls it, although it's not like the original Nike Skin found on the first Hypervenom Phantom. This time around, it still is a mesh-based synthetic material, but it's a very thin layer of mesh, as you guys can see by the kind of mid layer right there. And then of course it's covered up with Nike Skin on top. So it's thinner, it doesn't have that same kind of plushness or padded sensation, and it's also reinforced with flywire cables on both the lateral and medial side of the shoe. So those run from the base of the sole into the lacing system, so when you pull the laces tight, light, not only are you getting extra stability from the upper itself, you're also getting the stability from those flywire cables, making this the most responsive shoe currently on offer from Nike. You really do feel locked down when you pull the laces tight. In regards to the upper, it is very thin, so it does provide more of a barefoot feel, although it's not quite as thin as what you're going to find from high-end Mercurial models, whether it be the Vapor 10 or the Superfly 4. But definitely still what I would consider to be a barefoot touch, just with a thickness and firmness to the upper that, again, you can't really get from other shoes. It has some pretty heavy texturing on the surface, as you guys can see. That doesn't have too much of an impact on the overall feel. And again, if you're looking for something that's thin but not too thin, then maybe the Hypervenom Phantom 2 may be worth a look. The one thing about the upper that, again, I really want to stress if you were planning on picking these up is that they don't feel soft on your feet. They feel firm, they feel somewhat rigid, and they just feel secure. If that's the type of sensation that you're looking for, you're going to like what you get here with the Phantom 2. Now moving on to the heel portion of the shoe, you do have an internal plastic heel counter, and then of course right above that, you have their dynamic fit collar made from Flyknit material, which also spans through the middle of the shoe where a tongue would normally be located. So you technically don't have a tongue here, it's just elasticated Flyknit through the middle. That feels really good on your feet. And if this is something that you don't necessarily want, don't buy the Hypervenom Phantom 2, buy the Hypervenom Finish, because it's essentially the exact same upper with a more traditional cut in the heel, similar to the original Hypervenom Phantom. Other than that, there's really no difference between the two. But if you do want the mid-cut design, you get it here with the Phantom 2. So it's made from an elasticated Flyknit material that creates kind of a seamless sensation in that the shoe feels like it flows from your ankle onto your foot as opposed to something being strapped to your foot. It's not necessarily something that makes or breaks your experience with this particular shoe. I think the experience with the Finish is equally as good, if not better, depending on what your preferences are. But again, if you're really dying to have that mid-cut design, you have that option in the Hypervenom line with the Phantom 2 model. What's great about this collar versus what you get with the Obra and the Superfly is that it's redesigned a little bit. So it's the same thickness and it has a similar pattern, but you're going to find that they move the actual seam to the lateral side as opposed to going directly down the back, which I would argue feels a little bit more comfortable, but again, isn't a major improvement over what you can currently get with the Obra or Superfly. Inside the shoe, there is a synthetic leather lining, the heel area, that again will feel a little bit weird at first if you haven't worn any of the mid-cut shoes from Nike, but as long as you take things slow, you shouldn't have too many issues with discomfort. Insole is fully removable. It features a mesh liner on top. No perforations, but it's got kind of this ortholite, very soft, spongy foam material that feels pretty good. A decent step in comfort, nothing fancy, but it does get the job done. Something that I should have mentioned as well in regards to the upper is that it does also feature Nike's ACC All Conditions Control technology, allowing for slightly better grip on the ball in wet weather playing conditions, which you do get with all the top-end models from this particular brand. Moving on to the sole plate, you're going to find their compressed nylon sole plate, or sorry, glass nylon sole plate, that looks pretty much identical to what we got with the original Phantom, but is much more flexible, which I personally prefer. And then of course you do get the Hypervenom Phantom stud pattern that is all conical studs as opposed to bladed studs. It reminds me a lot of what you get with the Mercurials, but again, the studs are rounded in shape as opposed to bladed. So not quite as aggressive in terms of the amount of bite that you get when pushing off, but they do have a fairly narrow profile to them, and they're spread out in such a way that you still get really, really good grip, but because of their rounded shape, you can still twist and turn pretty freely when your foot is planted. So a good stud pattern, nice and stable, aggressive as well, and it's kind of just well-rounded in terms of performance on firm natural grass. And of course, if you're playing on soft ground, there's a soft ground version available, or on artificial grass, you can get the AG version as well. All of those stud patterns will perform optimally on those particular playing surfaces. So that's pretty much it in terms of what this shoe has to offer from performance. Again, not for everybody, but if it has what you're looking for, you're probably really going to enjoy your experience with the Hypervenom Phantom 2. If you guys would like to see these things in action, there is a playtest video on my channel. I'll leave an annotation on screen. You can go ahead and check that out. And with that being said, let's move on to a quick weigh-in so we can see how lightweight these guys are. In terms of weight, the Phantom 2 is light, but certainly nothing too crazy. So I thought I'd weigh the shoes for you today in real time just so we can see exactly what the weight is. Keep in mind this is a brand new pair in a size 9 US. We're going to throw it on the scale and you can see that they weigh in at 7.7 ounces. the equivalent of 218 grams. So again, if you're looking for a lightweight feel, you're definitely going to get that from the Phantom 2. They don't necessarily feel weightless on your feet, but what you do get with these things is an extremely responsive sensation. They secure really, really well when you pull the laces tight. And like I said, because the upper is firmer and you also have the added support of those flywire cables, your foot is locked in place and you really get that one-to-one responsive sensation that no other shoe on the market at the moment, in my opinion, does quite as well. So if that's the type of feel that you're looking for, then again, the Hypervenom Phantom 2 is definitely something to consider. All right, so here is a look at the Lightning Storm Hypervenom Phantom 2s on feet. On my left foot, I have the stock orange laces that come with the shoes, and on my right foot, I have a pair of orange with black dots SR4U replacement laces. If you're interested in a pair of replacement laces for yourself, be sure to check out the website www.sr4ulaces.com. Find a direct link to that website down below in the description of this video. Now, in terms of how these things fit and feel on feet, they are firmer than you might expect. They're not stiff, but the upper is thin and solid on your feet. It doesn't have that kind of soft, flexible quality that you might expect from a high-end shoe, but it doesn't feel bad. It's just, like I mentioned earlier in the video, a very unique sensation. It doesn't feel like anything else on the market at the moment. So if you like a thin shoe that feels very structured, very snug to your foot, and very responsive, there's really no movement to the upper whatsoever, you're really gonna like how the Hypervenom Phantom 2 feels. It takes some getting used to, but certainly isn't uncomfortable by any means. It just, like I said, has a firmer feel to it. So if you're looking for that lockdown sensation, you're gonna like how these things feel. In regards to width, it is a tighter fitting shoe. It's not gonna have that same stretch to it like you found with the original Hypervenom Phantom and its Nike Skin upper. This upper is really not gonna give or stretch at all. The way it fits from right out of the box is the way it's gonna fit for its entire lifespan. And overall, I'd say it's gonna be suitable for most foot types, but if you have really wide feet where you normally need your shoes to stretch, this is probably not the best option for you. In regards to sizing, I'm wearing my usual size 9 US here, and the fit and the length is absolutely perfect. So if you are looking to order a pair of these for yourself, I would strongly recommend going true to size in order to achieve the best possible fit. All right, guys, that is it for my review of the Lightning Storm Nike Hypervenom Phantom 2. Again, if you guys are looking for more details on the fit, feel, and performance, be sure to check out the written review on my website. That'll be the very first link down below in the description of this video. Also on that page, you will find Buy It Now links with exclusive SR4U coupon codes. We'll be able to pick these guys up below their normal $275 retail price. So again, if you're interested in a pair, first link down below, go ahead and check it out. If you have any questions regarding the Hypervenom Phantom 2, leave them down below in the comment section. I definitely will get an answer out to you. If you enjoyed today's video, found it helpful and informative, be sure to support it with a like. Subscribe if you haven't already for daily videos on all the latest and greatest soccer gear. You can find all my social media information down below in the description as well. And other than that, guys, hope you enjoyed today's video. And as always, thanks for watching.